Daniel Defoe, Robinson Crusoe, Part 151. The rainy season was in the meantime upon me, when I kept more within doors than at other times. We had stowed our new vessel as secure as we could, bringing her up into the creek where, as I said in the beginning, I landed my rafts from the ship, and hauling her up to the shore at high water mark, I made my man Friday dig a little dock just big enough to hold her and just deep enough to give her water enough to float in. And then, when the tide was out, we made a strong dam across the end of it to keep the water out, and so she lay dry as to the tide from the sea, and to keep the rain off, we laid a great many boats of trees so thick that she was as well thatched as a house, and thus we waited for the months of November and December, in which I designed to make my adventure. When the settled season began to come in, as the third of my design returned with the fair weather, I was preparing daily for the voyage, and the first thing I did was to lay by a certain quantity of provisions, being the stores for our voyage, and intended in a week or a fortnight's time to open the dock and launch out our boat. I was busy one morning upon something of this kind when I called to Friday and bid him to go to the seashore and see if he could find a turtle or a tortoise, a thing which we generally got once a week, for the sake of the eggs as well as the flesh. Friday had not been long gone when he came running back and flew over my outer wall of fence like one that felt not the ground or the steps he set his foot on. And before I had time to speak to him, he cries out to me, "Oh, master, oh, master! Oh, sorrow, oh, bed! What's the matter, Friday?" says I. "Oh, yonder there," says he, "one, two, three canaries, one, two, three." By this way of speaking, I concluded there were six, but on inquiry I found there were but three. "Well, Friday," says I, "do not be frightened." So I hidden him up as well as I could. However, I saw the poor fellow was most terribly scared, for nothing ran in his head but that they were come to look for him, and would cut him in pieces and eat him. And the poor fellow trembled so that I scarcely knew what to do with him. I comforted him as well as I could, and told him I was in as much danger as he, and that they would eat me as well as him. "But," says I, "Friday, we must resolve to fight them." "Can you fight, Friday?" "Me should," says he, "but there come many great number." "No matter for that," said I again, "our guns will fright them that we do not kill." So I asked him whether, if I resolved to defend him, he would defend me and stand by me and do just as I bid him. He said, die when me die when you bid die, master." So I went and fetched a good dram of rum and gave him, for I had been so good a husband for my rum that I had a great deal left. When we had drunk it, I made him take the two following pieces, which we always carried, and loaded them with large swan shot, as big as small pistol bullets. Then I took 4 muskets and loaded them with 2 slugs and 5 small bullets each, and my 2 pistols I loaded with a brace of bullets each. I hung my great sword, as usual, naked by my side, and gave Friday his hatchet. When I had thus prepared myself, I took my perspective glass and went up to the side of the hill to see what I could discover, and I found quickly by my glass that there were 120 savages, 3 prisoners, and 3 canaries, and that their whole business seemed to be the triumphant banquet upon these 3 human bodies.